So I want to preface this video with an apology. The audio is not good, and it's because even though I had my microphone on and clipped to my person, it was not plugged up to my camera. So the audio on this video is not going to be the usual. So my apologies for that. I'm going to get it together, hopefully, for the next video. Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Sephora Pro Pigment Palette, the Editorial 2.0. I'm going to be showing you some swatches, a partial tutorial, more on that in a minute. And I'm going to be talking about this palette and giving you my thoughts on it after using it for the first time today. So if you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing because I do makeup tutorials, hauls, swatches, and reviews here on my channel every Saturday. So as you may or may not know, Sephora dropped 3 new Pro Pigment palettes. Now they had 3 originally. I think News and an Editorial and another one, I'm not sure. But there were 3. And now they have released 3 new ones. And I'm not sure if the 3 new ones are limited edition or not. But of the 3, they have the new Nudes, they have the Editorial 2.0, and they have the Smoky Jewels. And of those 3, I decided to purchase the Editorial 2.0. Now, I've always been interested in these palettes. When Sephora put out the first 3, I was really interested in them. But I hesitated to buy any of them because I was concerned about the quality and the pigmentation, especially on my darker skin tone. And also the price, $68. It's pretty steep. So I didn't buy any. I watched a lot of videos about them, but I didn't see a lot of videos of women my complexion or deeper using those palettes. Until recently, I saw Tina, the Fancy Face. She bought all 3 of the new ones, and she said she likes the Sephora palette. So she's somebody that we usually like the same things, and I trust her opinion, so I thought I would go ahead and give it a shot. And during the 3rd Sephora holiday weekend sale, 3 weekends we got to shop, and I shopped all 3. But anywho, during that 3rd weekend, I decided to go ahead and pick this up at 20% off. So instead of the $68, I think I paid like $59 or something to that effect. So this actually is the packaging. It looks the same as the palette, except all around the edges you have this like iridescent holographic. So pretty, so pretty. And then on the back you have the shades. And then when you open the box, this is the palette, which looks very similar. And again, you have that like holographic iridescent effect there on the words, which is really sexy. So you also get an insert of 4 different looks with the palette that you can use according to skin tone. So that's really nice. And I attempted to do, well, not this look here, it's a green look, which I'll show you in a minute. But let me show you the palette first. This is the palette. You get a full-size mirror, which is huge. And then these are the shadows. And you get 28 shadows. And they're a mixture of chrome, matte, shimmer, and satin finishes. And they don't tell you which ones are satin and chrome and all that, but per the swatches, I kind of got an idea. The swatches were not impressive. They were kind of what I thought they were going to be, and one of the reasons why I never purchased any of these palettes before. They weren't very pigmented. The shimmers weren't that pigmented. The ones that I'm guessing are the metallic shades were a little bit more, had a little more oomph to them. The mattes swatched so I really wasn't impressed all that much with the swatches, but swatches don't tell a whole story. They're not going to tell you how it performs on the eye, so I was still holding out some hope But this is a beautiful palette. I mean, it gives me Urban Decay Born to Run vibes here with all the different colors, and it's just really, really, really pretty. And these shades right here immediately drew my attention. They're like this yellow, green, olive shades, and they're in a mixture of mattes and shimmer and metallics. This shade right here, Psychic, I think is a duochrome, and the swatch, it looked like a duochrome. I am not wearing this palette on my eyes today because it didn't work for me. It didn't work. This was a total fail. As I said, I went in, these shades right here were the ones that spoke to me. So 1, 2, 3, these 4 shades right here is the look that I attempted. I attempted to do a look with those 4 shades, and it just didn't work out. I am going to show you the tutorial. And in the tutorial, I say that I'm not sure if I'm going to return the palette because I was unsure about whether or not I wanted to go forward and can use some other shades in the palette and see if any of the other mattes or the other eyeshadows performed any better. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to go on ahead and return this. Those 4 green olive shades, really, really beautiful, but if they're really not going to work for me, then there's really no point. And I don't want this to end up being an entire palette of just lid shades that I have to wet and just wear on my lid because I can't blend them out in the crease or anything. $68, even at 20% off, $59 is a lot of money for an eyeshadow palette that I just don't think I'm gonna like any better than I do right now. So this baby is going back. She is gorgeous, but at the end of the day, she just didn't perform for me. I would love to know if any of you have picked up any of these palettes, whether the original 3 or any of the new 3. Let me know in the comments below. But for me, it didn't work, and it's going back. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the tutorial now. Now the first part of this tutorial is going to be a voiceover, and this is like a week or 2 after filming this video, and now I'm seeing the footage while I'm editing it. And maybe it wasn't all of the palette's fault. Maybe some of it was user error on my end. I don't know, but you'll be the judge. You'll let me know. This is that color Sense. It's this really bright yellow eyeshadow, and you can see it flying off there. This is the most powdery eyeshadow I have ever used in my entire life. Even the cheapest, most expensive palettes have never had a shade as powdery as this one. This eyeshadow went everywhere. It got into all of the surrounding eyeshadow pans. It was all over my desk. It was freaking everywhere. And no matter how lightly I patted the brush in it, it was just powder everywhere. And it took, I don't know, maybe 10 times going back and forth into the palette to try to build up the color so it would show on my skin tone. Now I'm going in with Sage, and I tried it dry at first just to see what it would look like. And as you can see, it really didn't do much. You can't even really see it. So I used some Mario Badescu spray and sprayed my brush and applied it to my eyelid. And it's a beautiful green, gold, olive shimmer shade. Absolutely beautiful. And after I wet it, I had no problems with applying it. And I did have quite a bit of fallout. As you can see, I ended up with fallout all over my face. And now I'm using Trans, and again, another beautiful metallic shade that I had to use wet. I didn't even bother trying to go in with it dry at first. I just wet my brush. And again, beautiful, beautiful shade. You can see how it goes so well, pairs so well with that that other shade I just put on the lid. But it's so, I don't know, maybe it was a little too intense for me, or maybe I built it up too much because I have a lot of folds in my eyelids, and it just looked so harsh, this shade. So maybe on someone else it would look better. Now I'm going in with Almond, and Almond is this really pretty green olive matte shade,
and not very pigmented either. So it took some more going back into the pan several times to try and build it up, but it blended out very nicely and no real problems aside from, you know, light pigmentation with that eyeshadow. And because that Almond wasn't as dark as I had hoped, I'm going in with Coven, which is like this satin shade. And as you can see, I'm not getting any pigment on my eyelids whatsoever, and you can see that the brush is picking up the shadow, but it's just not, I'm just not able to get it to lay down onto my skin. And this is a Sephora slanted shadow brush, and I don't remember if it's a natural hair brush or not, but I just was not able. I'm using this shadow dry and going back into the pan and really putting my brush down hard into it to try to pick up some shadow to get on there, and it's just not working. So I decided to change my brush, and I think this is a Sephora brush too, I think, or it might be an e.l.f. brush, I'm not sure. And it's a synthetic bullet type brush, very dense brush though. And again, nothing's happening. So now I'm using that same Mario Badescu spray and back to the original brush. And now I'm able to get some pigment to show up, but I had to wet a satin shade, and you know, it's a beautiful color once it was wet and I was able to see it, but you know, I don't like having to, I mean, wetting a shimmer or metallic shade, okay, totally understandable, but a satin shade, So now I'm going back in with that bullet brush, and I'm taking the yellow shade and I'm trying to blend out those shadows in the crease. And I wanted to use a stiffer brush because after wetting that satin shade, I was afraid it would be difficult to blend. And this might be my fault. I might have gone in way too aggressively and way too hard with this really stiff brush.
Okay, so as you can see here, it looks like the shadow, I'm blending it, and it's that trance shade has kind of just gone. And yeah, this, I'm blending it over here and I'm just blending away that dark shade. This is a hot mess, I'm gonna go back in with trance and see if I can't, like, this, I don't even want to continue with this because this is horrible. I gotta run errands today, and I just yeah, I can't with this. I don't want to go out looking like this. And the amount of powder, the amount of kick up and powder in this palette, I mean, these are the shades that I've used. This one wasn't so bad, but these three, this one especially, this shadow is in all the other surrounding shadows. So much kick up and powder. Oh my God, this was awful, and this was not fun to use. And the fact that I had to wet that satin shade to get it to show up, oh my God. Wow, I mean, these were pigmented once I wet the brush, but I guess my brush is too stiff. This little brush I'm using is too stiff, because when I'm trying to blend that almond shade over here, I mean, just look at that, all of the shadow is off. Oh my God, this is just horrendous. I mean, if I kept this on the lid and maybe used a glitter glue, it might stay, but I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I want to use the other shades in this palette, but I don't because I have yellow eyeshadow. That's yellow shade is everywhere. Yellow eyeshadow is everywhere. I want to try the other shades eyeshadows in this palette, but I've had such an unpleasant experience with the shadows that been using, I don't even want to bother with the others. I mean, the cheapest palettes that I own have never been as powdery as this palette. And this is a $68 palette. I mean, this is... I'm like speechless at this point. I'm not even gonna finish this look because this is just, I'm gonna wipe all of this off. I'm gonna see if I can. Look at all of the fallout. I don't even know, like, am I gonna be able to get all of this off? It's all over my face, my cheeks, here down by my nose. Like, I took a makeup wipe and cleaned up a little bit of it before I went in with that dark shade, and it's everywhere. And I'm really pissed off that I dirtied up these brushes. Wow. Okay, so this was a total fail, and I'm not even going to continue. I just wanted to show you what happened here. If you like this video, please by all means hit the like button and consider subscribing, because I do beauty related content here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.